Hello class, thank you for watching this video. This is going to be a tutorial on grammatical gender. And remember, when talking about grammatical gender, this has nothing to do with gender identity, and we're not even going to go into pronouns in this video. It's solely about grammatical gender. All right, let's get started. I want to begin with a review of the terminology we need to talk about language. So in English, it is the noun, which is a person, place, or thing. The article, which in English is the, a, or an. The modifier, which includes the adverb and the adjective. The adverb, we won't be talking about adverbs right now because they modify verbs, and we're focused on how nouns are modified and using the correct article and having gender agreement with nouns and articles and modifiers. Okay, so this linguistic terminology, the noun, the article, the modifier, the adjective, so these words exist in Spanish as well, and the noun, person, place, or thing is going to be el sustantivo, persona, lugar, cosa. The article in English is the, a, or an. El artículo, la o el. The modifier, which includes the adjective. El modificador, que incluye el adjetivo. So already we can see where this gets complicated. Just for an example, in English, the noun is a person, a place, or a thing. I just used nouns and articles in that sentence. El sustantivo son las personas, los lugares, y las cosas. So already we see that these nouns have a grammatical gender and you use a different article according to that gender. The article in English, the, a, or and the artículo in Spanish are different because one marks for gender and one doesn't. So the in English can be an article to refer to a noun without talking about its gender, the grammatical gender of the noun. And remember, we're not talking about pronouns here. Not touching pronouns in this video. So el artículo, the in English is el o la, a is un or uno, and if you're talking about the plural nouns, los o las. And then the adjective. In English, tall, tired, attractive. These are adjectives. In Spanish, the direct translation of these adjectives in English, the ending depends on the grammatical gender of the noun. So you can see how it's complicated. Okay, so to emphasize the utility of articles in Spanish, I have persona, lugar, cosa. They're just person, place, thing. Person, place, thing. That's what makes up el sustantivo. That's what makes up nouns. So these are my adjectives. So es, está, and es, that is a whole other tutorial that goes into the difference between ser and estar. And basically, estar is to talk about a state of being that is temporary, and ser is to talk about a state of being that is permanent. So, for example, es, which is a conjugation of ser, being the state of being tall, it's permanent when you think about a full-grown person. And then the state of being tired is temporary, hopefully. And then the state of being attractive is considered permanent, grammatically. And so I have this X here because we don't know what the ending of these adjectives is going to be yet. because we don't know the article. So, but we know that persona is a feminine noun. So, la persona es alta. Okay? Lugar is a masculine noun. El lugar está cansado. The place is tired. We don't go there anymore. That place is tired. The thing is attractive. The thing is attractive. The thing could be anything here. Blonde hair, glasses. That thing is attractive. So, la cosa es atractiva. So, that's why I put that X there, is because I don't know the gender of the noun without the article. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in one of the announcements, so I don't know if you noticed, but when I gave you all the welcome to the class in the first announcement for the class, I put this. The way this is pronounced is bienvenides. Bienvenides. So this is kind of like what we were doing up here by putting an X at the end of an adjective when you don't know the noun that the adjective is modifying. So because I don't know all of you personally, I did not feel comfortable putting bienvenidas because I don't know if all of you identify with that. I wasn't comfortable with putting bienvenidos because I don't know who I'm talking about. I don't know if all of y'all, because I don't know you personally, I don't know if all of you would identify with being welcomed in that way. So it's just a form to include all genders. Bienvenides. Or you can put bienvenide, or you can put bienvenida, bienvenido. Because, for example, if we're talking about the welcome, the welcome as a noun, the welcome in Spanish is a feminine noun. So it's la bienvenida. That's a noun, la bienvenida. Always, 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 the welcome, the noun of welcome is going to be a feminine noun. But bienvenida is also an expression. It's an expression to modify a noun to say someone or something is welcome. So, if you don't know who is welcome because you don't know the gender of the noun, you can just put X, you can put the at sign, which is meant to include both A and O, or you could put AO. Yep. Okay, so I want to share with y'all something that's very useful for me. So this is Word Reference. Word Reference is an online dictionary. I suggest using this way more than using Google Translate. So with this Word Reference, you can choose, there's all kinds of language dictionaries, but for our purposes, we want to use the English to Spanish dictionary, and we can always switch it around. So, for example, a recent search I did was bienvenida. So, welcome, like we said, welcome. So if you want to know whether any noun is going to be feminine or masculine, for example, you toggle over these blue things over here, noun. So welcome is a noun, refers to person, places, or things, quality, etc. So you toggle over this over here and it'll tell you, it's going to tell you in Spanish, but usually it'll have nombre femenino or nombre masculino. And that's how you know which article to use. So, la bienvenida. If something is an adjective, then it's going to depend. Usually here on word reference, if something is an adjective, it doesn't always say bienvenido or bienvenida, but you have to know that an adjective, not always, but usually the suffix is going to be in accordance, in agreement with the noun. So this is what I was talking about before. Bienvenido is an expression, and the ending does depend on who is being welcomed. So another example, lugar. Lugar, place. It's a noun, and then you toggle over here and it's a masculine name. El lugar. Cosa, in English it's thing, and it's a feminine noun. Cosa, even though it just means thing, is a feminine noun. So I really recommend using word reference if you see a free floating noun, or you're thinking about what you want to say in English and you're thinking about how to translate that in Spanish. Always, if you want to say the desk is big. The desk is big. So desk. Which article, how do I even start the sentence if I don't know the grammatical gender of desk in Spanish? So I can just go in here, make sure it's English, desk. Desk is, we're just going to go with the first one. This is another reason why I love word reference, is because it gives you compound forms, and it's really the best way to kind of put things in context when you don't know the meaning of a word. Just put it into word reference and it'll put it in context for you. So desk, escritorio, escritorio. If I want to say the desk is big, I know now by seeing here that escritorio is a masculine noun, that the sentence is going to start with el. The article of my sentence to be in gender agreement with the noun, it's going to be el. El escritorio es grande. El escritorio es grande. Could be with anything else. If I want to say the day is pretty. The day is pretty. So day is going to be, and I'll show you. Day is a masculine noun. So it's always going to be el día. Okay, so I want to share with y'all something that's very useful for me. So this is word reference. Word reference is an online dictionary. I suggest using this way more than using Google Translate. So with this word reference, you can choose, there's all kinds of language dictionaries, but for our purposes, we want to use the English to Spanish. So something that I want to point out is that just because a noun ends with a doesn't mean it's a feminine noun. So for example, some words that are taken from the Greek, in Greek they are masculine. So Spanish words that are taken from Greek that were masculine in Greek are going to stay masculine in Spanish. A good example of these words are words that end with ma. So tema, it's a masculine, ends with an a, but it's a masculine noun. And tema is theme, issue, matter, point, subject. It's going to be a masculine noun. Things like clima. Clima. Clima is climate and ends with an a, but it's a masculine noun. What else? Tema, clima. Another example is mano. Mano is hand, and look, ends with an O, and it's a feminine noun. So there are some nouns that don't change their ending even, so there are some nouns that don't change according to gender. So for example, dentista, dentista, dentist. Dentista ends with an A, but if I'm talking about my male dentist, I will say el dentista. If I'm talking about my female dentist, I will say la dentista. So, nombre común en cuanto al género. That means common name in accordance with the gender. So it's a common name. Doesn't matter. It's a neutral noun that whenever you're speaking about it or writing about a dentist, the article is going to be what modifies that noun in accordance with gender. Okay, guys, that's it for my lesson on grammatical gender. I hope this helped. And yeah, please do use word reference for whatever you have a doubt about anything. It's a great tool. Also, when using Google Translate, I really don't suggest using Google Translate because that's just the best example of how things get lost in translation. There's so many times where you see something written in Spanish, you stick it into Google Translate, and it'll spit out a direct translation that may leave you more confused than you were to begin with. So if there's a piece of vocabulary that you don't know, just stick that word into word reference. It'll put it in context for you. And if you do have to use Google Translate, I suggest you do back translation. So back translation is when you want to test yourself to see if what you wrote in Spanish is grammatically correct. Then you can put the Spanish phrase into Google Translate, and when it translates it into English, if it makes sense in English, then you are good to go. So thanks so much, and I will see y'all later.